Good morning. Welcome back to the channel. It is a gloomy, cool morning in January. Well, truthfully, it's kind of mild for January. It's 42 degrees. We got a chance of showers today, some rain. So I'll come down here to the creek, explore a new area, see what happens. This little stretch of creek I haven't been on in 15 years. It's not too far from the road and it's pretty close to the boundary too. But there's a lot more little curves and deposit areas in person than it shows on any map. So I've hiked in all the way down. I'm at the boundary and I'm gonna hike my way out today doing test pans. Here's my first little test pan I'm gonna try out today. See, I did hit some dirt and some mud, but it was really loose packed, looked like fresh wash in, so maybe some dust in this. There's a lot of places that look like that from all the rain we've had this year, so finding good material might be hard. Alright, first pan. It's a little gloomy. There's a little bit of black sands in there, and there are some super micro dots, but it's not even worth snuffing up. So I'm just going to move on. I'm not going to try to go deeper or move around. I'm just going to keep moving on upstream, a little bit at a time, see if I can find where some gold is. Here we got the second pan up here, and it's much better. You can see two nice big specks there and some more smaller things. That's looking better. That's out of a real rough current. A lot of big rocks and a little bit of clay. It's a good looking spot. That hasn't been covered up with flood material because of the mass current. So the deeper, faster moving areas might be the better places to work here. Working on this little deposit in here, I got a pan that shows a decent amount of fines. Not great, but once you consider how easy it would be to run this material and how much of it you could run, that might be an okay spot. I'm gonna go up, down, left, right in this area and see what happens. Hey-o, checking in. I worked up and down that bar, left and right, towards the middle, towards the edge, and it seemed pretty consistent. 3 to 7 fines, real fine dots. But I got a nice little speck in the pan here, probably can't see it, towards the top of that. So I still haven't found anything super great, but there's some neat deposits of gravel caused by the flood just in front of me. So I'm gonna hop and skip up through there, and I'll be at 10 pans pretty soon. I ain't got much gold to show for it, but it's a fact finding mission. That's what you got to do. If you want to go somewhere and run a sluice all day and have a good accumulation, you got to come out here and do the legwork. All right. This pan here, I think, is the best looking material I've seen today. Other than that, pan with a little bit of clay in it. So let's hope this does pretty good. It's from a unique spot. Ooh, you can see it from there. And they're getting better. Now that's a nice little piece of gold, and it's got a lot of little friends. That is a really big speck count and a nice piece of gold there. All right, that looks great. So I'm gonna do a little testing around here and keep on moving upstream. Hey guys, checking in. It's been a little while. I'm not even counting pans. It's been quite a few. I got a pan here. It's the last one I'm gonna do from this little section, and it's been pretty consistent. A lot of little spots and dots and little specks. I hit a good pocket downstream. Now it's getting light again. I'm getting ready to cross over this deep section and get on the front of another point. Test the deep, fast moving area best I can, and moving on up and around and getting a pretty good idea what's going on out here. So we'll see what this pan looks like. I haven't been showing you all the pans, so hope we'll get some gold in this one show. Yeah, it's not great, but it's kind of typical what's out here. I've been getting one decent little speck and a few micros. I don't know if you can pick them up. It's so gloomy out here today. Decent amount of black sand, some ironstones and things like that are popping out. But there's the deep spot. I'm going to try to trek through there and see if I can get a couple test pans out before I head up onto the curve. All right. That deep water test was the closest thing I come to a skunk all day. Here's my next test. I'm testing here because you're supposed to test everywhere, and I picked this spot because there shouldn't be gold here. So I'm going to shake that down and see if there is. There might be some finds, but there shouldn't be. Where I want to test is right about out there. So that's what I'm going to do next. Well, that checks out. No gold other than some super fine micros maybe in there. But I was surprised at the amount of black sand in that pan. So I'm going to move around and see what happens. Hey guys, checking in. Here's my next test pan here. And as you can see, there is a large speck count in this area. They are fine, but that is a nice number. That would add up pretty fast and a good sluice. So let's just keep on testing, see if we can find some more good spots. Hey guys, checking in. It's later in the day. It's afternoon now. I haven't really taken a substantial break of any type. I've just been working my way up the stream here, and I got to this little divergent spot where I thought it was another creek coming in or coming out. Well, I figured out what's going on here. It's like a wash. There's water running through it, but it really only runs through it when it floods. It forms a straight line with the other creek, so that makes a lot of sense, and it reconverges back downstream again. I have a pan up here. I'm about to shake it and see if there's any fallout here at the mouth of this dry. Well, it's wet right now where everything falls out. It kind of jams up here. We'll see if there's any gold here, and I have 2 or 3 other spots. I'm just going to keep on pushing, and I have a pretty good idea where there's gold here. Then I'll have some time to kill, and I got to figure out what I'm going to do. If I'm going to maybe push on further down, or maybe check a couple spots I skipped, or go to a good spot. I'll think about it while I do these 3 or 4 pans, and maybe they will decide what I'm going to do. Make my way back down to where I started at. Looks like there might be more water in the creek. I might need to go check on my pack, make sure it ain't washed away down there. Uh-oh. But I'm skipping in between the spots I've already checked, trying to fill in the puzzle, you know. It's always filling in the puzzle. And this is my second best pan of the day, I believe. Maybe the best. We'll take a look. All right, there's a noticeable little piece of gold right there, and he's got some friends. I don't think it's got the speck counted earlier, but I think that's the biggest little piece. Looks good. What in the world? It was one of those test pans. It's like, well, there shouldn't be much gold here. Maybe some fines. Let's check this out. That's the biggest piece of the day. Oh my God. And that was just kind of a fluke kind of a pan. Let's check here. Why not? What? Now I'm all sorts of confused. That's what gold will do. And that right there is why I do test pans from spots that shouldn't work. Because you never know where the gold stopped. You can plan on for where the gold got trapped or got stuck, but you never can plan for where it just happened to stop. Checking in. The more gold I see, the better I feel. Man, I could use a little sun. It looks like I'm getting pale. But what I'm going to do is I got back to my favorite little spot here where 3 of my best pans came from a stone's throw from where I'm standing. I'm going to dump my snuffer out so we can see what it looks like. All right, here it is. You can see a lot of black sand there. I wasn't taking my time with it. You just snuff it up and go. I got my piece of lead that I found. Starting to see some gold shake out. All right. I think I did maybe 15 pans, give or take, plus or minus 3 on that. But I was just skipping up through here and trying different spots, and I hit a few spots. Those 3 bigger pieces came from near where I'm at. So we gotta figure out what's next. So I'm gonna snuff this back up. Well, so far I guess I've decided just to do some more pans in this little area and give me a better idea what's going on. And that's the best pan I've seen since I started doing that. It's a little too much water right now, right here, to do exactly what I want to do. But hey, it's better than none at all. There's a decent little test pan for the speck count. Hey, checking in. It's a little bit later on in the day than it was, and I'm about run out of time, so I'm not going to be able to upgrade and do anything to get any production out of this. So what I'm going to do is I skipped over a few spots just upstream, and those few test pans with the ones I did before earlier today kind of creating a picture in my mind. So I'm going to brave the deeper water since I can with these waders here, and see if I can get the biggest piece yet today, because it seems like the more up that way I go, the bigger pieces I can find. So we'll do a little quick experiment, maybe a half hour, and that'll be it for the day. Sure been a lot of fun. Makes me feel good to get out here away from everything and just focus on the work and the video. So let's get to it. This creek has been pretty awesome today. Oh man, I think that water's 5 degrees colder now than it was earlier. This is what I like to see, that orange stuff, full of ironstone and bigger rocks too. That's always a good sign. That orange pan, I didn't hit any chunks, but that's a pretty nice speck count there. That's double deuce material there. Oh, look at that. There's some pretty pieces of gold. There's 2 bigger ones and some smaller ones too. Decent amount of black sands and ironstone. That was tough to dig. I gotta figure out a new system for digging in deep water, the Swift, because there's nowhere to put your pan. Just a quick pan. You saw how much was still in there. Oh my goodness, it's getting better and better. That's nice. Testing all day up and down this creek today. You always find something good eventually if you just keep at it. So here's my best spot that I found on this whole adventure. The day's about over. I got a pan and I got a bucket. What do you do? Well, I'm going to set this bucket up and I'm going to speed pan down 80% of the pan and dump it, and do as many of them as my back will let me over the next 30 minutes, because it's going to be dark here real soon. Here's my little system I set up. I got my pans there I can shovel into. I had to build up some big rocks to make a platform. Rock behind it holds it in place. The bucket had to put some big rocks in the bottom, hold it down. What this does is it creates like a little dead spot behind it where it's safe to pan, because this is ripping through here. Sure is going to be good to run the deuce when I bring it back. This is going to be a good spot. Yeah, it is. I'm pulling a lot of gold that day. It's looking good. Still rocking and rolling. Spin one back real fast, see if there's still gold in it, and that is still looking really good. So I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Add this to the bucket. Run out of time. It's getting about dark. I'm trying to spread it around a little bit, and haven't got that many pans in there, maybe a dozen. But the second time I've spun one to see what it looked like, make sure I'm still on the gold, and I'm trying to branch out into slightly different areas so I get an idea of what's on the grand scale. Look at this though, I'm pretty happy about it. Oh yeah, look at that piece. I think that's the biggest piece of the day, looks like. I'm pretty happy about it. I'm going to snuff that one up instead of throwing it in the bucket, just because I already see it. That's good news though. That means this little deposit expands out and it's a little bigger. I need, I'm going to do 2 or 3 other test pans now to kind of expand my knowledge. Woo. I'm going to call this last pan of the day. I'm going to shake it all the way down, see what's in it. Oh, what's that? Right on that rock. Looks like a piece of gold to me. Just sitting there. That's pretty awesome. It's a good sized piece. Let's see if it rushes into the pan. It's gone. It's in there. It kind of looks like a little fork or a Y, didn't it? Alright. Let's pan this pan. Take a look at this pan. And pack up out of here. Oh man, And good God, look at that. That is the best pan of the day. There's that little Y piece right there we saw on the rock. And a bigger piece. A bunch of littles. Man, oh man. That's the last pan of the day. That's a really good pan. Hard to walk away from this. But it's getting dark. Hey guys, it's time to get up out of here. I done stayed about 30 minutes too long. It's a lot darker than it seems on this camera. So I got a little bit of a hike. It ain't too bad. Get back to the house, get me some coffee and warm up a little bit. Because staying out here in this cold water, this water's cold. Playing on cold water when you come out here in the winter. No matter how warm it is outside, it's cold water. We got some panning to do. And there might be as much gold in that bucket as in the snuffer, but we'll find out. I did put some of the bigger pieces I found there at the end in the snuffer, so that distorted a little bit. I didn't want to throw them in the bucket. You already caught it, why release it and then you try to catch it again. But it should be fun. There ain't too many cons there, so I might just take my time with it and pan it a little bit instead of setting up the machines and stuff. We'll find out. Hey guys, sitting back here in my little jungle. There's some of the rocks I brought home this time. There's some interesting ones in there I might show you. Here's the bottom of the bucket. That was the last pan. That was the biggest one. But there was some pans along the way that had some nice little pieces in it. Well, I'm going to have both snuffer bottles to dump out. What I got panning up and down minus the 3 biggest pieces in it. Alright guys, here's the gold I got exploring up and down the creek all day. Minus 3 of the bigger pieces you see there, about 5 nice pieces in that. And here's what I got. Speed panning through the rest of the day. I think I did pretty good with the speed panning. Well, this was a lot less time involved with this gold here. The blue pan was 5 hours. This was 45 minutes. Plus the 3 biggest pieces over there. So, whoo-hoo. I'm going to put them all together, one snuffer, and clean it up even more and see if we can get 0.12, maybe. This is a small pan, but I do believe that is the most gold I've gotten in the wild with just a pan in quite some time. That's looking pretty good. We might get a little more than that 0.112. Seemed to be a little bit more after I got it all together. It's looking pretty good. Well, I'm going to dry this out. We'll see what it weighs up to be. So here's the gold, guys. Just a 0.11 for the day. I was a little off on the guess, but that's not a bad show for bouncing around and searching a new 400 or 500 yards of the creek. Found a couple good holes. Most of that gold came from the end of the day when I did some speed panning. So that's it.